All right, welcome back to The Lit and the Lost. Here we are again, ready to clutter up your news feed because that's what we do.
Yep, good at it.
All right, so I'm just going to jump right into it today. We'll keep the small talk to a minimum.
No introduction.
No one, yeah, fat boy across there is Buddy. Fat boy across here is
Simp boy,
Aaron.
Simp boy over there is Aaron.
Simp boy. All right, so I want to start with a story that I've pretty much kept to myself for 3 years, maybe 4
You
years
think I'm
now.
coming out the closet?
No, no,
Okay.
not yet, not yet.
Good.
Okay, I want to talk about the time that Aria was, my daughter Aria, she was 5 at the time. So I guess it was about almost 4 years now. She used to see a demon. And I'm going to start out by saying at first I didn't believe her because I'm well aware how kids are. Kids have amazing imaginations. And a lot of times, you get that whole monster under the bed, monster in the closet, stuff like that. But she was so specific on this that even though I wasn't sold on the idea yet, I started to pay attention. Because the first thing I realized was she had never seen a scary movie. She had never seen any kind of scary movie, never been read a scary story. The kids around here don't play monsters or anything like that. We like to keep it all like super, super rated G. They watch a lot of biblical, cartoons, stuff like that. About the only thing, they watch as far as on TV is, back in the day, they would have watched shows like what's that, Motown Magic and cartoons like that.
Just for the record, I'm just gonna throw this in here. My two little boys, 6 and 12, grew up watching Walking Dead with me.
Yeah. Two completely different households. But she would wake up, and throughout the day she would tell me and my wife about this man that watches her in her bedroom. And at the time we hadn't got her a bed yet, so we turned her crib into a baby bed because that's like, she was so tiny for the longest time. That made like the perfect baby bed. We just lowered that one side to where we could put her in, she can get out, no problem, everything was good. But sometimes she would tell us that he was at the foot of her bed watching her. Sometimes she would tell us that he was on the right side of her watching her. There were times that I would tuck her in and she would just randomly start talking about him. And I would say, well, what does he look like? And she would say, and keep in mind, this is a 5-year-old trying to describe this. So, if imagination played into it, they would add details and stuff like that. She would say he's just black. Almost like it's almost like a shadow.
Like featureless,
Yeah. But she didn't say to see through it or anything. So imagine,
well, a shadow person.
Imagine like a demon or a shadow person.
Yeah, they call them shadow people.
That's just solid black. And she would tell me, she rolled over one day when I was tucking her in, and she's like, and he has a tail, and she pointed to her butt, showing where the tail was. And I was like, man, this girl's getting descriptive. There's no reason why she should
Start freaking you out.
Yeah,
huh?
you got no idea, man. I'd go to sleep at
You go
night.
looking over your own shoulder?
I would, man. I'd be paying attention to
My
shadows in
problem
the
is-
room at night.
My problem is man, I'd had trouble leaving my kid in that room if they were telling me that. I'd have my kid probably in bed with me.
We still weren't 100% sold on it. Well, I'll go into detail on that too. But she rolled over, she's like, and it has a tail. And at one point, she showed me exactly how he stood, but she described him as up in the air. So he kind of stood cockeyed, like, one leg kind of lower than the other leg kind of bent. She did this exact pose, like he just kind of floating there, just watching her. But he would never come at her. And one night, she would wake up and, she'd say, I'm scared, he's back, he's watching me. And so we'd put her in the bed with us. And then one night we were like, you know what, we're going to see how this little imagination thing plays out. We're just going to go ahead and put her in the bed with us before we even have a chance to come across this, and we'll see if she says anything. Dude, she was tossing and turning, flopping around, kicking covers, rooting up. She was having a terrible, you could tell she was having a horrible night's sleep that night. And she wakes up and she points. She's like, he's right there. And she's like, he's right there. And Susan was like, no, there's nobody there. She's like, he's right there. And Susan raised her hand. It was like, see, nothing. And Aria was like, he's right there. And I was like, she is 100% seeing something.
Yeah, 5 years old, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
and well, not just that, but like for her to say, like, he's right there, lets you know that she ain't making it up.
Yeah.
But she described this thing in detail, the color of it, how he stood, how tall he was, his tail, all that stuff. So what I do, I run to church. And not like at the time, but the next service we had, I was looking for our main preacher and I couldn't find him. And one of our fill-in preachers happened to be there that night, and he's like, hey, what you got going on? And I told him, I was like, can you help me? Because I can't find Chad anywhere. And he's like, yeah, I can help you out with that. And he's like, here's the thing though, is like when you pray to God, God hears you. God knows what you're thinking. You can pray silently or you can pray vocally, out in the open. He's like, you can't do that with a demon. He's like, a demon can't read your mind. You cannot cast out a demon silently. He said, you have to pray vocally.
Like in the name of Jesus, I revoke you.
Yes.
Like that.
He said you have to pray vocally. You have to pray with authority. You can't, walk up there and be scared like you're afraid.
Half-blooded.
Right. He said you have to pray with authority and you have to pray in Jesus' name. So my dumb butt was like...
You have to truly believe that Jesus is going to do what you're asking him to do. Yeah.
So my dumb butt, what do? I was like, well, should I command it in Jesus' name to show itself? Which was stupid for me to even think about. And he laughed. He's like, I would not do that. He said, don't do that. He said, cast it out, command it to leave, command that it doesn't return. He said you need to constantly pray and declare that your house is part of, God's kingdom of heaven. Are you playing on a fun game there?
No, I was just checking on this. I had to check.
But he told us exactly how to pray. We made up our own prayer. We've been praying, believe it or not, we added to it. But that prayer's it's a long prayer.
Well,
we pray that prayer every single night. And here's the cool thing about it, is the day we started praying that prayer, she never saw it again. And it's funny because she never talked about it again. It's almost like once she stopped seeing it.
Well, how long is the prayer?
I
was going to say you could tell people in case they need to hear it.
Okay, yeah, you know what? I will tell people. That's a pretty cool idea. I like that.
Well, yeah, don't say about talk about this miracle prayer, and then you're going to tell people what the prayer is.
I guess you could call it a miracle prayer because it is directly from the hand of God.
Even the Bible tells you not to provoke.
Oh, I wasn't provoking anything.
It's like telling a demon, well, I know you're in here, do something. Do something. Yeah. I mean,
I wasn't.
To do that,
there was no pride involved in it. But yeah. So we pray. It's like, let me see. We start by saying our typical prayers. Now lay me down to sleep. Pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. Then we add to it, angels guard me through the night, wake me with the morning light. Typical kids' prayers. Yeah. And then we say, in Jesus' name, we declare, and this is word for word what we say every night. Every night. We've been praying this prayer for 3 to 4 years now. We say, in Jesus' name, we declare this is God's house, and Jesus' house, and the Holy Spirit, and all the angels. Now, we don't say, because of her age and everything, we don't say demons go away, because I don't want to put it in her head that there's demons. We say bad guys go away. Go away now, because Jesus said leave, because he loves us and he protects us.
Anything that is not holy is not welcome in this house.
Right. Yeah. And we say because he loves us and he protects us, so go away now and don't come back, because this is God's house and this is part of God's kingdom. That's the cast out part of the prayer. Yeah. The rest of it is just praying for other people. Yeah. We pray for a kid at her school that has cancer, which is super cool because he's now in remission. So, which I'm not in any way going to give us credit for that, because he's got a whole team. He's got an entire town praying for him.
See, I taught my kids to that every prayer. We mainly pray every night before we go. The boys like to hold hands and say prayer, and it's and my main thing I've taught my kids is you in your prayers always thank God for what you have.
Yeah.
You know, Lord, thank you for the
Oh
food
yeah,
you've
yeah,
given us.
and we do that too.
Thank you for the roof over our heads. Thank you for keeping us safe. Please continue to keep us safe in the following days. And, you know, that. And I always say, you know, thank God for what He's already given you.
Right.
You know, don't beg for things you don't have as much as thank you for what you do have.
Right, yeah.
But what's cute is like when Freedom, every now and then we'll say, Justice, you got to pray, and he's sick, you know, so his is so comical because it's pretty much like, God, thank you for the cheeseburgers we had earlier today.
Hey, he's thanking for food.
And thank you for keeping Mom and Daddy and Bubba and me safe. And I mean, it's just cute how he
Well,
works
you know
stuff.
what? You need to try that too. That whole cast out
Yeah.
prayer, because you told me
Man.
about some of the crazy stuff going on in your house
Yeah,
too.
but since me and the boys started praying at night, and I'm back in church. I only go Wednesday nights because this is gonna sound horrible, but I don't like Sunday morning services for one reason.
Why?
Because I don't like to stand for 30 minutes
Oh,
while they
stand 30
sing.
minutes, yeah.
That's
Our,
why-
our
and
standing,
you
our
look
standing
rude.
portion,
You look rude if you stay seated.
right? Our standing portion at our church is about 15 minutes. They do 3 songs.
I'm almost 52 and I've had a rough one.
I was about to say your church and my church is complete. Oh, I say complete is a little bit different. Y'all
Yeah.
probably sing hymnals, where
Yeah.
they at our church sing like modern day
Y'all sing
songs.
pop songs.
Some. I mean, yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's man, I'm 52 years old and I've had a rough life. And my knees are too bad to have to get up, sit down. I feel like I'm in a Catholic church.
Right.
Get down on your knee. Get down on your knee. Thank you, Lord. Okay, get up. And 3 minutes later, get back down on your knees. It's like, dude, my knees can't handle this.
You're bumping the table.
Oh, okay.
You're vibrating the
But,
phone.
you know, my knees can't handle that. And it's nothing against people that love to, you know, I don't, you know, they say like your true Southern Baptists don't sing in church. And I got nothing against singing. I prefer Wednesday night because the boys have classes on Wednesday nights they go to. You know, Freedom got to join the actual youth group, which is 7th grade and up this year.
Mm-hmm.
And they've even started up a little thing. You know, they usually don't do Wednesday night services for kids during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
But just because Freedom's going to that youth group, they even started up the kids one for Justice, so he'll have somewhere to go.
Right.
But I like Wednesday night because it's just sitting there for an hour and the preacher preaches out of the
Right.
Bible.
Ain't
And
nothing
I
wrong
prefer
with
that.
that.
So I just go Wednesday night. But since we shouldn't start doing a lot of that stuff, we don't see or hear as much in our house no more.
That's
But I'll
good.
tell you back, you know, you talking about her seeing demons. My story's a little different. It's mainly ghosts, but there may be a demon aspect to it.
There ain't no such thing as a ghost. It's a
we're
demon.
not getting into that.
It's a
We're
demon.
not, I don't care. We're
It's
not
a
getting
demon.
into that. That's where me and you differ. Because I do not believe that every alien and ghost is a demon.
I do.
Well, that's okay. You can
I do.
believe that.
Because it says
don't
in the Bible,
care.
it says it is appointed unto man to die once. After that, judgment. There's no wandering spirits. There's no poltergeists, sticking
no
around
aliens.
haunting each other. There's no purgatory. I don't care what a Catholic says. It is you live, you die, and you immediately go where you're going to go.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
the
you
Bible says that
No,
everybody
there will
from the
be-
New Testament does not go to
Right,
heaven
right,
until
right. There will
Jesus
be
returns.
a second judgment,
Okay,
but
well-
you are still in hell until then, buddy. You ain't
How
sitting
can
in
you
no-
be in hell if
ain't-
you ain't been judged yet?
Because there's two I say there's nothing resting about it, but there's 2 places in hell. There's hell is where you go when you
And then
die.
there's the waiting room.
No, there's the final judgment, and that's when all things evil are cast into the lake of fire.
It's like
It says it.
hell's Mexico, but until God comes back, Jesus comes back and does the final judgment, you're in immigration trying
Well,
to get into Mexico.
You could
Yeah,
look
I
at
don't-
it that
I
way,
don't buy that.
but the way it was best explained is hell is like you're in jail waiting for your eternal sentencing.
So you're in
and
county.
the lake of fire.
Oh, you're in county
yes,
until you go to prison.
Yes, pretty much. You got hell
You
and
have
then
to
you got the lake
excuse
of
me and
fire.
Aaron. We do have some differing views on
Well, I
Christianity.
mean, you can call it what
and
you
that's
want.
okay. We both
but
believe in God.
everything
both
I'm
believe in
saying, though,
Jesus.
everything I'm saying can be quoted directly
Okay,
from the Bible.
Anyway, before you
Oh, come on.
rudely interrupted my
Keep
crap
talking.
here.
Keep talking about your
But
about your ghost.
Yeah. But
your
anyway,
ghost.
there was the house we live in is an old house. It's 2 stories, and upstairs it's got kind of the barn style, half octagon shaped rooms. And if you go up the stairs, when you get to the very top, You can go left or right into 2 separate bedrooms. Well, when Freedom was a little boy, he, little, like 3, 4 years old, he used to stand at the bottom of the stairs, and all the lights would be out upstairs. He'd stand at the bottom of the stairs, and he'd be smiling and waving. And I said, one day I said, Freedom, I said, who you waving at? He said, the old man that lives upstairs. And I said, there's no man that lives upstairs? He said, yeah. I said, is he nice? He said, oh yeah, Daddy, he's real nice. And Gloria met 2 girls at church that said their granddad, this happened like 6 months, a year later, told her, said, yeah, our granddaddy used to live in that house.
Well, I'm not doubting.
No, listen. Said, their granddaddy used to live in that house. And she said, oh yeah? She said, yeah, he died upstairs. And Gloria was like, what?
Well, I'm not doubting that, like, the granddad lived there, that he died upstairs. Maybe he was a nice guy and stuff. But it's also biblical.
So you saying that was a demon pretending to be him?
Also biblical. It says even Satan can masquerade as an angel of light. Satan can come to you and make you think he is the most wonderful, pure being.
Half my life, and I'm sorry, but I do believe in spirits and ghosts and stuff.
Well, I do too. I do too. I believe in spirits and ghosts. I just don't believe spirits and ghosts are people. I don't believe they're our souls hanging around.
But well, you know, Aaron, they say that we're all in the end, we're all just energy, and that when we die, our energy goes back out into the world. Well, maybe that energy.
Man, you're getting into the movie Powder on that one, where when he died, he exploded and his energy said whoosh.
Well, no, it's just scientific. I mean, if you get into physics, all that stuff. We're all energy and we're all connected.
We are energy and we're connected.
It's kind of like they say, if you go outside barefooted, like people that go barefooted.
Yeah, you're talking about the electrical charge the Earth puts off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all energy that's transferring. So your energy how come your energy can't make me manifest into past memories, whatever. Anyway, but the thing about the old man upstairs is then along comes Justice. And then when Justice was 3 or 4, he started doing the same thing. You'd see him waving upstairs, and you'd be like, who you waving at, Bubba? He'd be like, their old man upstairs. And I'm like, 2 kids that see the exact same thing.
And I believe they see the same thing.
Yeah, but then there was bad stuff, too, though, in our house. But none of it was upstairs. It was all downstairs. Like, Justice was in the bathroom one time when he was like 3 or 4 years old, and boy, he come out scared. And I said, what's wrong, Bubba? He said, Dad, there's somebody in the bathroom. And I said, what do you mean there's somebody in the bathroom? He said, something there told me, I am your mama. And I said, it said what? He said, it said, I am your mama. I said, did it sound like mama? He said, no, Daddy, it sounded like a man. And I said, are you serious? He said, yeah, Daddy. He said, it said, I am your mama. He said, but it sounded like a man said it. And then one day he come out, this wasn't even that long ago, maybe 6 months ago. He comes out of the bathroom scared, and he said, Daddy, he said, come stand in here while I poop. And I said, what's wrong? He said, Daddy, when I went to the bathroom, he said, something jumped from behind the toilet. He said, and it landed in the dirty clothes. And I was like, I feel like a frog. He said, no, Daddy. He said, it looked like a shadow. He said, it went whoop, out from behind the toilet. He said, it went whoop, right into the dirty clothes. He said, it just looked like shadow. And I was like, well, crap. So I went there and sat with him while he pooped. But anyway, that brings me to a theory I have. You know how, and everybody knows this, everybody in the world knows this. Well, I mean, they don't know what the conclusion I'm going to come to is, but I'm talking about imaginary friends. Mm-hmm. How kids have imaginary friends. And to them kids, even if you remember having an imaginary friend, like today you tell yourself, oh, that was my imaginary friend when I was a little kid. But when you was a little kid, he wasn't imaginary. Mm-hmm. He was a real friend.
Right, I get what you're saying.
I don't believe the kids have imaginary friends. I think there's really something.
Right.
And there's a video that you can look up on YouTube where this little girl is walking through the kitchen and she's holding looks like a little lunchbox or like one of them little Polly Pocket, like it almost looks like a pink and light blue tackle box where you put your toys in it and stuff, you know, little Polly Pocket, little whatever they call them, My Little Pet Shop kind of carrying cases. But she's a little bitty girl, man. She can't be like 4 years old. And she's walking through the kitchen, and I guess it's a CCTV camera. And she starts talking to somebody in the kitchen, and she's telling them no, like that. And then all of a sudden, you see the arm holding the little tackle box just jerks out in front of her, and she does like that, pulls back.
Don't hit the table,
I'm sorry,
man.
I get excited. But anyway, it goes out like that, and she jerks it back real quick. and you could tell they no little 4-year-old could act out that jerking like they did, and that just tells me that. And then when her mama asked her about it later, she said, "Yeah, there was a little boy and a little girl in the kitchen." She said, and they tried to take my toys away from me. She said, but I didn't let them, and that's kind of creepy. But yeah, I don't believe little kids have imaginary friends. I think they're really interacting with something.
Yeah. Oh, that was your conclusion? Oh, dude,
Yeah.
I've had that conclusion for a while now.
No, don't try to sound like you all enlightened.
No. There ain't nothing enlightened
think
about that,
aliens are
buddy.
demons.
Buddy, when Ethan, my oldest grandson,
Yeah.
when he was born, he was maybe 2 or 3 months old. I'd be holding him, and all of a sudden he'd look up in like one of the corners of the room, or whatever. And sometimes he would laugh like he was interacting. Sometimes he would cry like he was seeing something
Yeah.
that shouldn't be there. No, dude, kids are able to see a whole lot of stuff that we ain't able to
Well,
see.
yeah, there's a video on YouTube that's, man, I'm fascinated by those, what they call real ghost videos, which some of them you can blatantly tell they're staged.
Right.
And I'm a master.
And you got the whole AI problem.
I'm a
today
ma-
and
well,
stuff.
no, yeah,
That's why I
these
go
are-
towards older videos.
That's what I'm saying. I don't watch these newer stuff. Most of my videos are early 2000s, 90s, 80s, you know. But usually you can't really find none before the 80s, like the late 80s, because people just didn't have video stuff filming. You know, before, like, I would even probably say before 1990, nobody was videotaping crap. You know what I mean? So most of your true videos are 90s, early 2000s. But there was one where a little boy kept crying and told his daddy, you know, his daddy would come in there and say, "What is wrong?" He said, "Daddy, there's a man hanging from the ceiling over there." And his daddy was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah." He said, "There's a man hanging from the ceiling." And then one day he was coloring or drawing on the kitchen table, and when he walked off to do something else, his daddy walked by the table, looked down at the picture, and there was an actual picture of a dude with a noose around his neck.
Oh yeah.
And when he asked his son about it, he said, "Yeah, that's the guy that's in the corner of my room at nighttime." And that's
Yeah, you
creepy
could
crap,
call
man.
you talk about energy. You could call that residual energy,
Yes.
like almost like a memory or echo or whatever you want to call it. But the guy's soul, you're not seeing the guy.
Yeah.
You're seeing something else.
Well, I'm gonna tell you a little secret. It's like there's also these hauntings. Let's call them hauntings. That I call recordings.
Mhm.
And what that is like I
Just-
actually stayed in
it's
a
a
house.
memory on a loop.
I actually stayed in a house where it had a porch that run all the way along the front of the house, and then it went run all the way down one side. So it was this porch.
You talking about Jamie's old house?
Yeah, well, yeah, the one where sometimes you would hear what sounded like somebody running
Oh,
down that.
I never stayed in that house, so I never heard that.
But it sounded like, no, this wasn't Jamie's old house. This was a house in Ada that another guy lived in. I'm not going to say his name, but you'd hear somebody run down the front of it, and halfway down the side, and you'd almost hear like a. Like,
Will you stop?
I did that for purpose, fool.
Oh, go, bump, 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 bump.
No, you just one thug like that, and like something failed.
Mhm.
And what it was, and then we started talking to people, and there was this neighbor, this old lady. She said, "Yeah," she said, back in it was like the '70s or something. She said a bunch of teenagers or college kids had a party there, and two of the kids got in a fight on the porch, and one of them shot one of them, and said he run down the front side and halfway down the side trying to get away, and he fell dead there. And to me, that's what's called.
It could be.
That's what's called a recording, and
Right.
what that means is you can't interact with it.
Mhm.
Like if you were out there, if you were out
right.
there and saw it, even if you saw it, a ghost running, you couldn't say, "Hey," you know, it wouldn't respond. It's a recording.
Right.
Like
No,
you
that's-
can't,
that's-
and all that means is when I say recording, all that means is you can't interact.
Well,
with
I'm not gonna
it. It can't
say-
hear you.
Right.
You know,
I'm not going to say that's real, fake, what it is, what it isn't. But yes, that's accurate.
I've heard it, though,
I believe.
so it
I
ain't
believe
fake.
in. I believe in that kind of stuff. It's just that person's soul is not attached to that memory.
No, that's what I call
What
it,
I'm
but
telling
that's a
you is when people die, they go to where they're going to go, and then that's it.
But see,
If you're able to interact with it, it's demonic. Unless in 100% of all the cases in the Bible where an angel interacted with a person that I've read at least.
Yeah.
Aside from there are cases where it says you may entertain angels and not know it. Meaning, like if you come across an old lady that needs help, or if you come across somebody that needs some help or something, it may be an angel put you in a situation where God's testing where's your heart at? But like
Yeah,
in
like
the
the people
Bible,
that used to believe God put dinosaur bones on earth to test our faith.
I never understood that. I believe the bones are real. I just
Don't know what part of creation
No.
they fell under.
no, I know exactly what part of creation they fell under, but it talks about dinosaurs in the book of Job. You have dinosaur fossilized footprints with man's footprints in them and stuff. Man and dinosaurs existed together. A lot of the world's going to call me crazy, but the physical evidence is there. You cannot have a man's footprint in the same dinosaur footprint, like clearly it was soft mud at the time, and it not be from the same
Yeah,
time
but it's
period.
like a lot of Christians though believe that if that was true, it had to have happened in the last 10,000 years.
It would have, yeah.
Well, that's another
Because
one
if you
thing.
trace the lineage,
That's another one of the
if
things
you
we might
well,
have
if
a
you
little
go
bit of
by,
different.
well, I mean, you believe what you want.
Well, I
It
do.
doesn't
I
mean
do.
it doesn't mean it's real, but you can believe what you want. That's the
Well,
same thing
it
about
doesn't
free
mean
will.
yours is real neither.
Well, I go by the Bible on mine.
Well, I
if
do
you
too.
trace the lineage from now all the way back to Adam and Eve, because it gives timelines on everything.
But
There's-
you're
they
going
say-
by the Bible as you interpret it,
No, I'm going by the Bible as it says.
as your preacher interprets it.
No.
Okay.
It says it in the Bible. It says it in the Bible. No, it says it in the Bible. There's no interpretation. If the Bible says 500 years, you can't interpret that in any other way.
Yeah, well, if the years were different, because people also lived to be 500
You know
years
what?
old.
I like
back then.
I like how you put that too, because what a lot of people out there who want to conveniently and nicely put
Believe that there might have
evolution
been a different calendar system back then.
in that they try to put evolution with creation.
I'm not an
and
evolutionist.
they've got that day
I'm not an
age.
evolutionist.
Shut up for a second. They got
Look
that.
at me about maybe flip you off on this camera.
Chill out for a second.
Okay, get
We're
it out of
walking.
your
We're
system.
walking over each other.
Okay, get it out of your system.
Our production manager's gonna get
I
us.
don't give a crap.
You have people who want to believe that creationism and evolution go hand in hand. They don't. One of the theories is what they refer to as day-age creation, which they think that each day where God said that, on the first day, on the second day, so on, might have been 1,000,000 years or 10 million years, but it can't be that way because each day it says, and the day was the morning and the night. It gives specific timelines. One day he creates all the plants.
Yeah. Well, it tells you what he created on each day, yes.
But if it's 1,000,000 years later before he creates the sun, all the plants are gone. You can't have.
He didn't create the plants after the sun.
He created the
On
plants
the first day,
before
he
the
said,
sun.
"Let there be light."
On the first day he said, "Let there be light." He created the existence of light, and then day 3 or 4 he said, I know this is something you ain't heard before, but you got to pay attention. On day 3 or 4, he said he created the sun. First, you got to create the existence of light, and then you create the light source. It would be like there's light.
The light source
Is our
causes
sun.
the existence of light.
You can't create a light source if light doesn't exist. It's simple. You can't. You can't create a sun if light doesn't exist.
I can't
On
light
day
this
1,
room up before I make a light bulb.
you can with another light source.
What would the other light source be?
Exactly. It has to be a light source, but without the existence of light, there is no light source. Your light source can be a candle. Your light source can be a flashlight, a
But that
bulb.
light source wouldn't exist unless you invented the candle first.
No. You cannot, buddy, you're flipping it around.
No, I'm not.
Light
I'm
has
saying
to
that you-
exist before you can create a light source.
How can
Oh, let me
how can
try to
light
explain it
exist
to you like
without a
this.
source for it to exist? Do you not get what I'm saying?
You're not understanding.
No, you're not making sense.
No, I'm making plenty of sense, buddy. You cannot have a light source. I'll give you an example. If light didn't exist, oh, I know, it's hard for you to
No,
understand.
it's not hard for me to understand.
If
It's hard
light,
for you to explain.
if
apparently.
light didn't exist,
Yeah.
could you make a light bulb? No, because light doesn't exist. You can't, buddy.
But how can light exist without something making it exist? Yeah,
You're
explain that one.
flipping it around.
No, I'm not.
Oh, you are 100% flipping it around. You cannot have a light source without the existence of light. I'll give you an example. The existence of thought. You know what a thought is, right? No. Are thoughts real?
Yes,
Do thoughts
are real.
exist? Can
Yes.
you have a thought without a brain? The thought,
No, because the
thoughts,
thought
right?
comes from the
Thoughts
brain.
exist, right? Thoughts exist.
The light comes from the
No,
source.
thoughts exist.
The
Your
brain's the
brain
source.
is your thought source. Light exists. Your light bulb is the light source. Yeah,
Do you hear yourself?
100%.
Tell us in the comments if Aaron's making sense to you.
Yes, you have the creation of the existence of light, and then
You
God
can't
makes the
have-
sun.
You
Now,
can't have
you-
the existence of light unless there is something putting off the light.
you're
You
talking
can't
about
have
no.
light without something making
You're
the
talking
light.
about the presence of light, not the
Even
existence
the
of
presence
light.
of light can't exist
You're
unless
right.
something is
Right,
making
you're
that
right.
light.
You're right, buddy. You can't have the presence of light without a light source. You're right when you say that, but you didn't say that.
Yes, I did. I
No.
said you can't have light without a source.
No, you
said
say
no. The source came
You
after
said
the
you
light.
can't have the existence of light without a light source. Light exists. Yeah, buddy. Woo.
Do that to yourself.
All right, no, I'm not doing that. I understand what I'm talking about. You don't
Okay,
understand what
okay.
I'm talking
No,
about.
I understand what you're talking about, and it's gibberish.
You're talking about the
You're
presence of
talking
light.
about you're talking about
Can't-
light existing without something making it exist, which
No,
is the source.
you can't, buddy. The existence means it's possible. The source
like
means
saying
it's
air-
present.
That's like saying oxygen. That's like saying oxygen can exist without the trees. Now, oxygen's already existed, but we made the trees later to
That's
make the
completely
oxygen.
different,
That's
buddy.
exactly what the
No,
same thing.
you're using stupid examples
No, it's not a
to win
stupid
to win an
example.
argument. Yes, you're using
Let's
stupid
move on.
examples.
Let's move
to-
on.
Yes,
'cause this is
let's
aggravating
move
the crap
on.
out of me, and you're getting pissed off too. So
Golly,
let's go ahead and
dude.
move on.
Oh, okay. Back
This is
to
why we don't get on subjects like this.
before you cut me off on Arya's demon.
didn't
I
cut
do
you
want. I
off.
do. Yes, you
You
did.
were- you said
did.
you were done.
Watch it. No, I didn't. Watch the video
No.
after I post it. Watch the video after I post it. Okay.
I
I
know, watching it
researched
just pissed me
because
off all
I
over again.
thought quit crying. I thought for myself. I thought for a second. I was like, you know what? I wonder if any other kids have had this experience that she's had, because I've never heard of this demon.
Yeah,
up
well,
until
not the
that point.
demon, but
Right,
kids
right.
have had that experience.
Because I thought to myself, I was like, is this one demon that terrorizes a lot of kids, or is this a type of demon and they all terrorize kids?
Well, I'm sure there's multiple. Well, we know there's millions of demons.
Right. Well,
That's
there's
why it's called legion.
maybe even more of them.
Legion
but
means
yeah.
legion means
Well, there's
pretty much
different.
uncountable.
Yeah, true. But I got to looking it up though, and apparently it's common, with one exception. She never said anything about red eyes. A lot of these kids have experiences where their demon that she described has red eyes.
Well, now a lot of the deals that you see the videos or hear people even talk about it. Shadow people. Shadow people usually there's no red eyes. It's
Well,
just a black.
apparently the red eye thing is common, and it terrorizes kids. Night terrors,
Yeah.
screaming and stuff.
Well, it's like
Arya
we can get into the
never.
black-eyed kids.
Well, Arya never was terrorized by it. It's
Yeah.
almost like
Well, just the side of it probably terrorized her.
Here's the no. She was calm about it, dude. She was so calm about it. She described that demon like a kid would describe a rabbit walking through the
Well,
yard. If the kid
innocent-
were to say, "Look, there's a rabbit," or yesterday I saw a rabbit.
Well, innocence to an extent is protection against.
Well, here's my theory is
It's kind of like the Bible saying children during the age of innocence automatically go to heaven.
they do.
Yeah.
They do.
But
Well,
what
it's not
if
necessarily.
What if that child or his family has never heard the word of God? Do they get to go to heaven?
The Bible says that God is just in the way he works. Kent Hovind explained to that how, like, a civilization that would have never ever heard of Jesus, God,
Yeah.
any of those, that they can make it to heaven because it's not their fault. That now, if you hear about it and you turn away from it, that's one thing.
Well, yeah.
But he gives these Bible verses talking about looking up to heavens and acknowledging that you were created. If a civilization has never heard of God, never
Yeah.
heard of Jesus, any of
The
that.
Central Island.
And they look up and they're like, there's no way any of this could exist without being created. That right there is pretty much acknowledging God and everything. So yeah, I believe you can go to heaven
But
if
you know,
you've
here
never
we
heard
go.
of God. Well, hold up just a second.
Okay, finish up.
But the thing is that she was never terrorized by it. And so here's my theory, is God shielded her, because God can do that. He does that regularly. He shielded her from that fear for one reason, for one main reason, is my guess. He shielded her from that fear, allowed her to see it, because if a demon could, a demon would. If that demon could have gotten any close to her, he would have. If he could have attacked her, he would have, but he was forced to stay back that whole time. My theory is, and my soul tells me this, is that God allowed her to see it, shielded her from the fear, but allowed her to see it, knowing she was going to come and tell us. We were going to go and seek advice, get the advice we needed, the prayer we needed, and take care of the problem. My theory is that we had a demon in this house, and God allowed Arya to see it, because there's no way we would have acknowledged it.
Yeah.
We would have made excuses. He allowed Arya to see it, knowing she was going to talk to us and let us know about it, and we would take care of the problem.
But do you believe that if it was here and nobody ever acknowledged it, that it would have remained here?
Yes,
'Cause
a demon
why would.
would.
You stay? Why would you stay if you're not affecting? Wouldn't you go somewhere where you can affect people?
You're talking about ghosts. That's
No,
the
okay,
theory.
I'm
That's the
talking
theory
about
on. That's the
demons,
theory on
too. Demons
ghosts.
have a mission,
No,
and if their mission is not working, they're going to move on to something else.
But here's the thing, though, is most demons don't want you to know that they exist, because if you fully 100% knew demons existed, like you saw one, interacted, had an experience or whatever, you would be more likely to run to God. But
Greatest
if a
trick
demon,
ever played was the devil convincing the world he didn't exist.
it is, because people who don't think the devil exists, in their minds, they're not accountable for anything.
Well,
They could do what they
That's
want
a whole
to.
different thing, though.
But what I'm
Maybe.
saying, though, is
Like atheists.
a demon can get to you without you ever acknowledging it, through through bad behavior, through just like depression, through all kinds of stuff. Just because we didn't see it doesn't mean it ain't gonna move on, or doesn't mean it's gonna move on.
Well, that's why I've always believed that stuff like depression and stuff like that it's almost kind of like being poisoned.
Yeah.
And if you can get the poison out of your system, then you're cured. You're well.
Right.
And I believe that a lot of that stuff, like demons and stuff, their presence can poison you.
Mm-hmm.
Just their very presence, which is so the depression
Right.
sets in,
Yes.
the alcoholism, the drug abuse,
Suck out the good and just
They're
saturate
trying
your
to find
life with
something
bad.
to make you happy, and nothing works. Yeah.
All right, next topic. Let's talk
What
about.
time are we at?
Shoot, I don't know. I got a big freaking rubber band
Oh.
covering my time thing right
Okay.
there. I've been trying to figure it out this whole time, but that rubber band's covering it. All right, let's talk about the next one. Let's talk about an elephant that they say died and is rumored to be buried at ECU.
This will make Chris happy. Yeah. I don't know a whole lot about this story. I know a few things. Apparently, back in what was about 1920, wasn't it?
Is when they said it died.
Yeah, when it died. But apparently, Ada, which was tell everybody what Ada was called before it was called.
Yeah, it's
Ada.
pretty cool actually. Before Ada was Ada, they said Ada didn't get its name until we got a post office.
Yeah.
They said before Ada was Ada, it was a town called Daggs Prairie.
I don't even think it was a town name. I think it
Well,
was just
probably
an
a
area.
nickname. Yeah, a nickname.
Yeah, Daggs Prairie. Yeah.
Yeah, an area nicknamed Daggs Prairie.
But apparently, because we're the heart of America, we're center America, we're the same distance from the East Coast, West Coast, so a lot of circuses would winter around Oklahoma because they put them in the center
Give me
wherever
a
they could.
scoot that way just a little bit.
They could straighten up, boy. But anyway, they'd winter in Oklahoma because it put them like geographically it was the same distance from everything. And so they would spend the winters here because, they couldn't really travel and do the circuses during the winter time. We didn't have all the good heating stuff and crap back then. But a lot of them either wintered around Ada, Oklahoma, or Hugo, Oklahoma. And supposedly in
Hugo is south, right? That's close to Texas, ain't it?
I think so.
Okay.
Don't get me lying. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't thought
I
about
think
that.
Hugo Antlers, all that stuff. I think you go through all those going through
Is
Texas.
it southwest or
Southeast,
southeast?
southwest.
We're
something like
southeast.
that. Yeah. No, we're like more central.
We're considered southeast Oklahoma.
Okay. But what
Because
about
we're
it?
below Oklahoma City, but we're a little this way.
Right.
But anyway, I don't wonder if that's a mirror effect on the phone. But anyway, back in 1920, a circus was wintering around Oklahoma, and they had a elephant. Her name was Diamond, that passed away. And the story was that I first looked up, claimed that she was buried somewhere around where ECU, East Central University, now sits. And nobody supposedly knows where exactly in around ECU that she was buried. Like the location is lost to history. But then I run across another story that said that she was buried in the old Ada, back then, the old Ada dump site, which they say now is what we call Industrial Park
Right.
at Ada, which is where the old Wrangler used to be, JPMCO, Flexingate, whichever one you want to call it. That thing's had a million names. But they say it was around that area that it was buried, in the old dump site. So I don't know which one's exactly true, but what's weird is I think the old dump site may be more accurate, and only because I think it got mixed up with another story. Because supposedly in 1936, a bunch of ECU students pulled their money together and rented 3 elephants to parade down Main Street, Ada, to generate pride and excitement for the ECU football games. And so I think maybe them two stories might have got kind of crossed, and somehow the elephant ended up being buried at ECU instead of the dump, where more than likely it was probably buried. And the reason I say that, like I said,
You say
I
that-
think them two stories got crisscrossed, and that's where the ECU thing came from.
Yeah, but you say that, but keep in mind, even back in the 1920s, the equipment it would take to haul a multi-ton elephant
Well, to dig the
from
hole for it.
ECU to the dump.
Well, they didn't say it died at ECU. They said the circus was wintering around Ada. It didn't tell where they were wintering at. Like they didn't say they were necessarily wintering on ECU property. The thing that's driving me crazy is I saw the name of the circus, and it was a weird name, and I laughed about it when I saw it because I thought there's no way I'm going to remember this name later.
And then you didn't
And
remember
now I can't remember it. And Aaron, he did all these freaking Google searches.
Google,
and,
Chat GPT.
Yeah, all them, and
got
they-
on a site called Ada History.
And none of them could find the name of this circus, even though I saw the name of this circus. And I think my buddy Chris might have private messaged me the original article where it said the name of the circus. But I don't have that phone.
Well, the
number.
original article about the elephant was January the 8th, 1920.
Yeah. but
So I'm guessing
but I think that's on
somewhere
my other
between the
phone,
6th
so
and
I
the
can't
8th
look
is
it up
where
and
it
tell
was.
you what it is,
Because
but-
back then, Ada didn't have a daily news. It was called the Ada Weekly News.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't become the Ada Evening News.
Well,
news
yeah,
until
because I'm
later
sure not
on.
enough went on in Ada.
And
back
they say-
then to put news out every
And they
day.
say the only reason these circuses came through
Farmer
here so
John's
often.
pig got run over by a wagon.
Well, they say the only reason the circuses came through Ada so often, the Ada area, and while they wintered around the Ada area and stuff, was because of the railroad. Because back then, Ada was a
Yeah, that
major
would make sense,
Ada
too.
was a major railroad hub. Where today it's just a typical 9 million railroads going through, nothing like super major about it.
Well, yeah, and that's like that whole railroad station there in Ada. Where that, what I'm talking about, right there. Where
Yeah.
Broadway.
by where the feed mill was that burned
like
down.
in the corner of Broadway and Main.
yeah.
Is that even functional?
Nah, half those tracks are buried.
That's what I'm saying. The buildings, they don't do anything.
All
there,
they
do
use, I think they use the 2 main railroads that go through that area, and they don't really use anything else.
Man, and we'll try to do for now. Every episode we're gonna try to do some tiny little since we're
From
not,
Ada.
We're not native, but we might as well be because we've been here 30-something years.
We've been here more than
Yeah,
we've not.
I'm
been
almost
here.
52, and I've been here since I was 17 years old. So we're going to try to do some Ada area historical, and trust me, there's some crazy stuff happened around Ada.
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll leave out the extra comments because if we
Yeah,
start
yeah.
talking about it, we'll blow it all.
Yeah, so we'll. But what we'll do is we'll try to do a different. Like I said, we'll try to do a different subject, a different story every episode. Just our little piece of Ada history.
Right. So, what do you think about Oregon? The people of Oregon, not the government, because a lot of times when the government tries to pass stupid laws, the people step in, throw a big enough fit, and get it squashed. This is the people, the crappy side of society, who will remain nameless, but we all know who they are, trying to pass a law that bans all thing hunting and agricultural in Oregon, including fishing, hunting, trapping.
Agricultural.
Agricultural gathering means no milk cows, no dairy farms,
No beef cows,
no
eggs,
slaughter
egg barns,
plants.
nothing.
It would even make it illegal for you to own chickens in your yard for the sake of harvesting their eggs.
Hey, dude, if they pull that off, that's one of the
They're not going to
greatest-
pull it off because keep in mind it takes so many signatures to get the law put on the ballot.
Okay.
The rest of their society will squash it. But what do you think about them trying?
Well, let me just break it down. You know, I get vegans and I get animal activists. You know, that's cool if that's the way you believe and stuff. But stop trying to push that crap on everybody else. And let me tell you a little secret. You don't understand what I mean. Hunting, yes, is technically a recreational sport. Technically, it's also
depends on
providing
why-
for
I was
your,
about to say,
technically
right.
it's also providing for your family, but it's technically also population control.
Mm-hmm.
If you make deer hunting illegal in Oregon, in 5 years' time, your automobile-related accidents involving deer collisions will skyrocket.
No, it would be less than 5 years.
But that's what I'm saying. But what
Dude,
I'm saying,
your deer
it'll get to the point
population
where
will
you
probably
can't-
double in the first couple
I mean,
years.
and Oregon's a pretty wooded, you know, naturey state.
Right.
So it'll get to where you better get bicycles because you ain't gonna be able to drive down the highway.
Buddy,
There'll
I've
be
seen-
herds,
dude.
Can you literally imagine you're driving down a highway and up ahead you see a literal herd, not a little group, not a little grouping of 5, 6, 7 deer, but a literal herd of 200 deer running towards the highway you're driving
Not just
down?
that. Let me give you another
I'm sorry,
example.
I'm moving a little bit because I got to break it.
Let me give you
My
another
butt's going
example.
numb.
If you have it to where you're not allowed to hunt like deer, elk,
Yeah.
moose, all that stuff, you will also have a predator population that will
Oh, yeah.
explode exponentially. You'll have wolf packs that probably number in the hundreds because of the amount.
I don't know. Well, they don't hunt wolves anyway.
But if you have the food source for wolves, they'll stick around locally.
Oh yeah,
They
they start
won't
importing.
Right. Well, no, they won't
Hey, now, let's
migrate.
go
They
across the
won't
border.
migrate like they do a lot. They'll just stick around. But
Well,
wolf,
most of your deer
everything
don't-
migrates
I mean,
according
not
to
deer.
food.
Yeah, but most of your wolf, believe it or not, most of your wolves, like packs of wolves, they're very territorial. They don't really migrate. You know what I mean?
Coyotes.
Well, coyotes will go
Wild
wherever the food
hogs?
source. Yeah, now wild hogs, that's a whole different
Dude,
story.
we have a wild hog problem, and
In almost
they have
every
made
state.
it. You're allowed to hunt day, night, all year long. You're even allowed. You're not allowed to spotlight
That's the
deer and
only-
stuff at night,
now
but
you
you're
have
allowed
to
to
have a-
spotlight hogs. They're so menacing.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is hogs is the only animal you don't have to have tags for.
Right,
There's
right.
no hunting.
Now-
You still have to have a hunting license to kill hogs.
Do you?
Yes, you do. You,
You
still
do?
got to have a hunting license.
Well, I guess the government's
But
gonna
you don't
get their
have to
money
have tags.
regardless.
There's no limits. There's no season. It's year round.
Yeah. Now
You kill as many as
imagine.
you
Now
want.
imagine if you can't hunt them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No.
Dude, you'll
I'll
go-
tell you straight out,
but-
Oregonians. Is that what you call them? I don't know what they're called. That's
I
like
call them
like Star
retarded.
Wars. Well, Oregon. Well, anyway, I believe if they did that, if that passes, they need to, and every state ought to do it. Refuse to import beef, eggs, anything to that state.
Too much money involved in it. They're not going to refuse anything.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, they'll regret that. They think they're
Oh, they're
helping
going to
the
regret. They're
environment.
100% going to regret it,
They
but
think
ain't,
that- but
ain't
there's a
nobody going to
natural order
refuse
to
to make
things.
money. That's just not going to happen.
There's a natural order to things, and in a lot of ways, we're not a part of a lot.
I
of
don't
it.
think it's going to pass though, so I'm really not even. I mean, it's just more of something funny to talk about.
Well, since you're going into that, and I blame that on vegans and animal activists, Have you heard about the whole tick thing? Where
Yeah.
these people are catching, they're finding what they call tick boxes
Yep.
on their land, out in their pastures. Well, let me tell you a little story. There's a video online you can watch.
That helicopter?
Yeah, there's
Yep.
these people, it's a woman. She goes out in the pasture, she says, look at that hell. And this is weird because it's a solid black, unmarked, it looks like almost like a hobby
Almost
helicopter.
like a, yeah, it's a
almost like
small,
a little two-man,
yeah, two-person
little
helicopter.
two-man hobby helicopter. But she goes, she sees a thing hanging from it like a cable, and it's got a box on the end of it. And she runs out there waving her arms, screaming at them. And boy, they turn around and start flying off. And you see them still pulling the cable with the
Yeah.
box. They never got a chance to put it down. But these people are going out there and finding these, which I say, it's mainly, before everybody freaks out here, it's mainly happening over on the East Coast.
Well, it's happening all over.
Well,
but yeah.
East and North.
Populated
It's
areas.
not
Yeah.
in Oklahoma or nothing yet, but it's happening over there. And they claim that there's a tick, and you're going to have to help me on this. 'Cause I
Lone
can't
Star
never
tick?
remember. No, not the Lone Star tick, but there's a disease. It's not even
Alpha
a
gal,
disease. It's
alpha
like
gal syndrome.
Alpha gal, how do you call it?
Alpha gal syndrome.
Alpha, I keep saying gal.
It makes you allergic to red meat.
Yeah, alpha gal syndrome.
Yep.
It's not even really a disease. It's more like it changes your whole body's DNA.
Yeah.
Like you become allergic to red meat, and that's a very real thing. But the cases have always been tiny, like it's very rare. But they claim that the last year or two that the cases are going up.
The cases started going up right after Bill Gates took on this massive multi-million-dollar project into tick research. I don't care
Tick
what you
research, yeah.
tick research, and they are weaponizing ticks as well.
And you know what's funny? Is I bet you if you have alpha gal syndrome and you're allergic to red meat, I bet you will not be allergic to that lab-grown meat that he's making.
That's what I'm saying.
So he's trying
What
to
they're
give
trying
everybody.
to
Well,
do.
I was trying to blame PETA, saying they're trying to make us allergic to
No,
meat.
this
before
is
we
Bill
can't eat
Gates
animals.
related. He's funding all this.
I'm telling you, Bill
For
Gates is an
decades.
evil man. I don't
For
care what anybody
decades.
says.
For decades now, they've been trying to push the whole stop eating red meat. Now they've gone to the
And
point
then
where
now they're proving that red meat's actually really, really
now,
good
right,
for you.
and now they've gotten to the point they're not going to stop. It's only getting more. So now we're going to make it to where they can't eat red meat.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you just a little side note. I started the carnivore diet last Saturday morning when I woke up. I said, "This is the day." I have not cheated one time in 8 days. I've drank nothing but water, unsweet tea, black coffee. That's the only drinks you're allowed, and I eat nothing but meat. And a lot of people say, oh man, I can't do that because it's too expensive to just eat. Dude, you don't realize bologna, spam, weenies,
Nasty,
potted
nasty.
meat, maybe.
Weenies and
but
potted
they're-
meat are all right.
But they're still 99% meat. That you can still eat those things. I've ate a little bit of everything. I bought a lot.
Remember what Mama used to
I
call
bought a
bologna,
lot of
don't you?
pork because pork is freaking dirt cheap.
You know what Mama used to call bologna, don't you?
What?
Lips and beaks.
Yeah.
It's all the stuff that nobody wants in their meat. They take it
No,
home,
it goes
grind
further.
it up.
It goes further. It goes lips and beaks, butts and cheeks.
Oh, butts and
But,
cheeks.
You don't say butts, but you get what I'm saying
Right.
because you don't want me cussing, and I understand that. But anyway, but yeah, and I've stuck to it. I have not cheated one time in 8 days, and I have not weighed myself. Since I weighed myself the morning I started it, and in 8 days I haven't weighed myself again. But I'm gonna tell you a little secret. It sucks as far as only being able to drink unsweet tea, coffee, or water sucks, and eating just meat. And I eat about 6 fried eggs every night, and that's, man, when you eat nothing but meat, fried eggs are like dessert.
Right?
Like you're like, oh, this is
Oh yeah, I like
you know.
throw some cheese on my fried eggs.
Yeah, well, you can have a little cheese.
You can have all
no,
the
no,
cheese
you
you
can't.
want. Yes,
no,
you can,
can't.
buddy.
Here's the thing, and I'm going to explain it to you why.
You're going to talk about lactose being milk sugar and stuff, right?
No. The reason that they say it's okay to have milk and cheese, but you have to have them in moderation. And the reason Dr. Berry, if y'all want to know about the coronavirus, I keep saying coronavirus. If y'all want to know about the carnivore diet, there's a guy on YouTube, Dr. Berry, that explains every aspect, every detail. There's different kinds of carnivore diets. Like I'm doing what's called the lion diet, which is a lion only eats
If you
meat.
so much as touch cheese, you're not doing the lion diet.
Well,
Lion diet is 100%
Okay,
meat.
but what I'm saying, I'm doing the one where if it don't come from an animal.
That's carnivore.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying though is, yeah, I'm doing the Lion diet except, and I'm not doing milk and cheese. I've cheated and ate a slice of cheese and a couple of drinks of milk in the last 8
It's
days.
still carnivore.
But the reason Dr. Berry says you got to do them in moderation is out of every animal-based food, them are the two least pure because of all the pasteurization of milk and stuff.
Yeah.
And the cheese, it's like he said you got to take into consideration. He said 99% of cheese, whether it be sliced or grated, he said that you buy in the grocery store, he said 89% of it, he said, is not even real cheese.
Well, you know, there's a website, I think it's called Milk Finder, that you pull up the website.
I don't want unpasteurized milk.
No, I do. It's raw milk.
That's
You
the
pull
real
up the
thick.
website, you put up your
I don't
put
want
up the
raw.
yeah, but you get all the healthy fats and everything you're supposed to
Well, I
have.
know, but I can't imagine what
You
it
don't.
tastes like. Have you ever tasted
All
it?
milk is milk flavored water. That's all it is.
Yeah,
dude.
but have you ever? No, it's milk, but it's been pasteurized.
And it's been sucked everything's been sucked out of it to a point it's almost water.
Well, I buy whole milk, and I'm not gonna believe that's milk flavored. Now, 2%? Yeah, that's milk flavored.
Well, this
water.
or 1%.
1%.
There's this website
Or half,
you put in your
half,
you put in your zip code on this website, and you type in the radius of how many miles you want to go, and it tells you everybody in that radius, that or circumference, whatever you want to call it, that sells raw milk. And
Yeah.
there's all kinds of areas within 30, 40 miles of us that you can get raw milk.
Yeah, I don't know if I want raw milk. But anyway, what I was saying though is, yeah, that's the only reason they say milk and cheese got to be moderation because it's not pure. Everything, even butter, you got to be careful. Like if you buy the salted, like squares of butter, that's the closest to real butter you're going to get from like a grocery store. Like never buy nothing that comes in a tub. That's not butter. That's margarine or whatever they call it. You want the sticks.
Well, you want real grass-fed butter. You get that stuff at Walmart, technically.
But no, the moral of the story was, I'm going to tell you straight out, they say that red meat, they used to tell us red meat's bad for you, pork's bad for you, too much fried eggs is bad, everything's bad for you, and that's all bull crap. Because I've told people, I was telling my kid's mama, my wife this one day, I said, if you really think about it, I said, they've been telling us since the 60s and 70s that all this stuff is bad for us.
And health has only gotten worse
said-
since then.
Yeah, and I said, and what the kicker, what should have made you think is that there's this thing called the Food and Drug Administration. Those two words should not be in the same name, food and drug.
And they're all bought and
because
paid
the
for
Food
anyways.
Administration. The only reason they're together is because the Food Administration lied to you about what's healthy and what's not healthy, to where you would get unhealthy so they could sell you the drugs from the Drug Administration.
Right, because they were paid off.
Because all that crap, if you look it up and actually do the research, Doritos, Oreos, there's so much of that crap that man, it's poison, dude.
Yeah, dude, I'll tell you right now, if I could, and this is terrible for me to say, if I could go back in time, I would assassinate John D. Rockefeller. I would kill him so fast
Is he
and
still
walk
alive?
away from it. No.
Okay,
dude,
so then they can't
John
get
D.
you from making
Rockefeller,
threats.
he was like early 20th century.
Like I said, they can't get you from making threats.
Right,
then.
right. This is more of a dream of mine.
But yeah, people
He's
need
the
to
one.
wake up to a lot
He
of
used
stuff.
his millions to fund the medical industry with petroleum-based products. He's the one who pushed out all holistic, all natural remedies, herbal remedies, all that stuff. And he's the reason why our medical industry is what it is today.
Yeah.
He's also the reason our education system is as corrupt as it is, because he is quoted as saying, "I want a nation of workers, not thinkers." He also funded the education system and steered it in the direction he wants. One man, and I'm not going to blame it on just one man, but one man has almost, on a long enough timeline, completely ruined the world practically from his time to our time.
Well, and what's weird is, he's the guy that he bought, back in his day, he bought, there were 3 or 4 major holistic research institutes in America. He bought them all, and they were closed within 3 years after he bought them.
Yeah, wasn't he the one who was funding Nikola Tesla until he found out what Tesla was doing with free energy and stuff? I think he was.
I don't know. He might have been.
I think
I've
he's
never
the one.
heard that, but I'm not saying
I'll
it's
have to
not
look
true.
it up, but there
Yeah.
was a guy, and
That
I
was
want
my
to,
man, and they did him.
and
ugly.
I want to say it was Rockefeller. I want to say he's the one. I could be wrong, but there was one major bigwig millionaire that was funding all of Tesla's work because he knew what Tesla was capable of, but then found out that Tesla was pushing for, he was creating
energy.
free energy and all that stuff, and shut it down
Tesla
and
cared about
made it
humanity,
a
dude.
point
He really
to
did.
ruin his life.
Yeah.
They
And they did. He died
they
penniless.
destroyed Tesla, dude.
Yeah, and he died penniless and you know, alone.
They said Tesla's the one.
Nobody
who-
even wanted nothing to. I mean, he was a pariah. I mean, he died alone because people
Right.
were even scared to admit that they liked him or wanted to be around him.
Well, they say that they think he was even looking into time travel and all
Oh
that
man,
stuff.
he was a genius, dude.
Hey, you know what's crazy? I give you a.
He was that
this
time's Elon Musk.
This is 100% real. Did you know that after Tesla died, you know who went in and got his work?
Who?
Donald Trump's dad.
Yeah, I've heard stuff about that.
That ties that they said Donald Trump's dad, I guess, sent in his people, and they said Tesla was. It was rumored that he had like so many hundreds of boxes of research.
Yeah.
That he sent in his team first, took everything they wanted, and then told the FBI, okay, well, we went through all of it. There's nothing special. Didn't say what they took.
Yeah.
Didn't even say that they took something, and then let the FBI take it from there. And then you've got all kinds of stuff like that Ingersoll Lockwood, that you know, the marvelous journey of Baron Trump. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That time travel book and all that
Yeah.
stuff. There's a long conspiracy that involves all that wrapped up
About
in
Baron
one.
Trump.
Yeah, about Baron Trump,
Yeah.
Donald Trump, his role. He's going to play Baron Trump's role that he supposedly did play. Donald Trump's dad, I guess, is the one who kicked it all off. Just all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, that's where you're getting into deep conspiracy theories.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
I
But
love
no,
me
back
some
to
conspiracy theory.
back to the whole, you know, the whole world being, you know, them trying to fool everybody into being unhealthy to where they don't want people. That's one of the reasons why I tell people anything Bill Gates is trying to push, stay away from it. It's evil. He is actually, it's proven, he's part of, what is that group called that he's part of, that they believe the world needs to be brought back down to like 500 million people.
A lot of them do. World Health
No, there's an
Organization,
actual, there's an actual,
the WHO.
there's an actual organization, that I guess some people might call them the Illuminati, but there's an actual organization that believes we have to bring the world's population back down to 500 million people for it to survive. And he's part of that group. And then all of a sudden, he starts trying to come out with his own vaccines. He starts coming out with lab-grown meats. He starts, you know, they're doing things because they you know, they're trying to figure out ways to make people live shorter lives. And
sterile.
They're trying to get rid of elderly care.
Okay, well, since we're talking about this, let me add to it then, because
Okay,
that's
go
actually
ahead.
one of the things on my list. Is, and I'm
And we probably need to wrap it up after this, but yeah.
all right, well, I'm gonna catch some crap for this one. Vaccines are one of many tools for population control.
It is.
And that came straight out of Bill Gates' mouth. When he did that episode of TED Talk, you remember that, don't
Yeah.
you? Okay. He said it
Yeah,
himself.
he admitted it.
He said it himself. He said, and in the next, I think he said he gave a 10-year timeline. We could possibly lower the world's population by another, he said. So they're already doing it. He said by another 13% with new health care, which abortion, all that stuff, contraceptives, all that stuff falls into health care.
I love that we're going to bring the population down another 13% through health care.
Right.
Them don't even go together.
That is, well, they classify abortion and contraception.
As healthcare,
It's-
yeah.
But he also says,
I call it genocide.
and he
of
says,
babies.
and new vaccines.
Yeah.
There's
No,
only
he
there's
don't even try to hide a lot of the stuff he says.
right. There's literally only two ways, and there's not a third way. If there is a third way, somebody comment in the comment section and let me know.
Sterilization's one of making people sterile is one thing.
And death.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can lower the population with a vaccine is to sterilize people and to kill people. There is no other way.
What is that movie with, and I love that guy, I can't think of his name now. What's that movie with, something of man, where a baby hasn't been born in like so many years.
I know what you're talking
and
about.
The black girl gets pregnant.
And the whole movie. The whole movie is some big, almost. I don't know if it's a chase scene.
Yeah, he's trying to get her out of there because these people are trying to get a hold of her.
Yeah, because I seen a news clip from the previews. The youngest person on the planet the youngest person on the planet has just died. Blah blah blah. Because like they were, it goes based on their age.
Some of men. Children of Men. It's called Children of Men. That's a good movie.
I'll have to watch it sometime.
Yeah, it's like it's the future where like, I love science fiction because I love to look at some of these movies and think, will the world ever be like this? And look at how many of them have kind of become like some old science fiction. Look at Terminator. That with what we're seeing with AI, that could very well happen. There could come a time where AI could take over the missile systems and start launching crap all over the planet.
I mean,
that's what they did in Terminator. They took over.
What's the timeline of Terminator? Ain't it now?
Yeah, it was in the original one.
He went
the
back.
Armageddon was like 1998 or 97,
was it?
Something like that. Yeah. And then remember the 2 come out in the beginning of the 90s, like 92, I think. And it was supposed to happen when she's at the fence watching herself. Which, little trivia fact, when you see her with the curly hair playing with the kids on the playground as she's watching herself, the one playing with the kids on the playground with curly hair,
that's her sister.
That's her twin sister.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was supposed to, I think it was like 97. So but no, it don't mean it's not going to still happen. But you look at Children of Men, that could happen in the future. If they get their way, they're trying, I honestly believe there's stuff coming out in foods and drugs and stuff that's going to start making people sterile. And it's planned. One of my favorite science fiction movies that so many people have never seen, and it had Justin Timberlake in it. It was called In Time, where you had
You talk about you could buy time?
Well, you were born with 2 years, but it didn't start until you turned 18, and then the clock started ticking down.
And it was one of those
and you worked and you got paid in minutes.
Right.
But if you went to the bar and got a drink, you had to pay so many minutes.
Right. And like rich people would tip you time and stuff like
that.
that.
I've seen. If they wanted to do population control and get rid of some, if they said, okay, the population's getting a little crazy, they would inflation. They would raise the prices of everything to knock people's time off quicker. That's an awesome freaking movie, though. And most people's never heard. They remember his best friend was Leonard from Big Bang. And he said, how many years have we known each other? And he said, well, it was like 12 years. He said, well, I want to give you 12 years worth of time.
Didn't that rich guy give him a bunch of time?
Yeah, the one guy, he had over 100 years on his. And he just wanted to die. So he says, I'm going to give you all my time. And he gave it, and you could transfer it through your hands, like you shook hands, and so I guess you had a chip or something in your hands, but it was a willpower thing. Like you had to be willing to accept it, you had to be willing to give it.
Right.
And yeah, so he goes to him and he gives him like 10 years or something, and then he comes back a little bit later to see him, and his wife says he's dead, and he's like, what do you mean? He said, if you gave him 10 years, he was already an alcoholic. He killed himself without even running out of time. Because he drank himself. But anyway, off that. But yeah, I mean, a lot of that stuff could happen, and I believe there's a lot of, and they're not conspiracy theories. There's a lot of bad stuff being planned behind closed doors. Yeah. And like I said, you take somebody like Bill Gates, he's not even secretive about it. It's like that whole deal where, did you ever see that interview where they tell him, that there's rumors that it was about how in the Epstein files, Epstein documented how Bill Gates came to him and said, I need you to get me some kind of venereal disease medication.
Yeah.
And he said, so I can sneak it to my wife because I caught it from them prostitutes at your island or whatever. He said, I need to sneak this medication to my wife without her knowing it so that she don't get it. And when they asked him about that in an interview, Bill Gates just literally smiled and said, well, he's dead. So it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And he smiles and says, well, he's dead, so it doesn't matter.
He's 100% evil.
Well, and did you know, a lot of people don't know that, and I watched the whole thing about this. It's real. You can look it up. anybody is welcome to verify everything we talk about. But there's a thing where he has built this yacht, this super yacht, that he can go out to sea and stay at sea 20 years without docking.
I've heard of it. I just don't know anything about it.
Well, what does that sound like to you, though? If you built a yacht that you can go out to sea for 20 years without having to dock.
An escape.
That's an escape route.
Right.
I can stay out because they can't touch me in international waters. But yeah,
they can touch you. Yeah, they can touch you. They can touch you.
I hope if he ever gets caught and does something crazy and he takes off out there, I hope somebody rents a private jet just to go drop a bomb on him.
It'll be one of those black ops kind of things.
Yeah. Nobody knows who did it.
He'll get taken care of, but nobody's going to take credit for it. Yeah.
Because he's an evil man, and I don't understand where his turning point was. Because you look back in the day, he was always an arrogant, piece of crap. But I never considered the guy evil. But then somewhere in the last 10, 15...
You do realize he's got masters, right?
Well, I know, but...
he's doing what he's told.
I think a lot of this stuff he's doing it because he wants to.
Well, no, he may want to.
With some of this stuff
he may want to, but I guarantee you he's not allowed to do what he wants to do. He does what he's told, and a lot of this stuff he's like, I want to do.
Well, that was one of his big deals was back when Microsoft was taking over everything. They said, man, he was the most arrogant jerk in the world. Like, he used to actually look at people when they would suggest something. He'd look at them, even if he didn't know it. He would look at people and say, I know that. I'm smarter than you. And then when the government stepped in because they called it a monopoly, when they come in and split his company in half, you can watch the actual courtroom video where he breaks down and he's crying like a little baby in court.
Well, yeah.
When they split his company.
Back then, he created computer viruses and then sold you the antivirus. Now he creates diseases and sells you the vaccine.
Well,
Guarantee you he had a hand in on the whole COVID vaccine.
Well, you know he did.
Hey, how do you like how fast that whole hantavirus thing passed?
Yeah,
because people are like
nobody was buying it. And when they were saying, we may have to quarantine again, and I think everybody's pretty much vocally not vocally, but out in the open on social media pretty much said, hey, we're not doing it again.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, crap, nobody's going to go along with this.
It passed so quick.
Yeah, it went real quick. And the Ebola thing, that's already passing by where nobody's talking about it no more.
Yeah, and for Ebola to be such a crazy infectious disease, it ain't spread. What did we say it was last time?
And I'm not getting into this, so after I say this, let it go. The only thing on social media right now is this whole something Anthony. What's this?
Carmelo Anthony?
Yeah, that's the only thing
I stay away from
social media.
I stay away from that
I do too. That's
because
the
news,
only thing on social media.
The news pushes this side to hate this side for injustice, and they push this side to hate this side for crime.
I know, but everybody's really upset right now because you realize either today or yesterday, they released the actual footage. They couldn't do it before the court was over, before the trial was over. They showed it in court, but they could not release that footage to the public because it would sway. They were afraid it would sway the jury or the public opinion or whatever. Well, it's okay if it swayed the jury because they got to watch it in court. But now that that's over, they released the video, and all these people that are protesting for Anthony, saying he was the victim and he was innocent. Oh, they're losing their minds that they've released that video now.
Well, it's like I said, I stay away from all that crap. It's all divisive.
Yeah, let's get back to hating Bill Gates. No, anyway.
Yeah.
I just don't. I hate anybody that has bad intentions for humanity.
Don't hate anybody.
That's why
You can hope they step on a Lego in the dark, but don't be hating.
Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying. But and that's why I don't care what anybody says. I'm an Elon Musk fan because he actually seems like he's trying to do stuff to help people more.
He's not.
He is.
He's not.
He's,
but there's two opinions about Elon. Either you love him or you hate him. I don't trust him. I'll be honest when I say I don't trust him, even a little bit.
That's fine. But I will tell you this, and I'll leave it at that. If you were to take all his money away from him today, you would destroy the livelihood of thousands upon thousands of people that work for him.
if you were to take all the illegal drugs off the street worldwide, you would destroy the lives of millions and millions of people who sell drugs. That doesn't make it a bad thing. No, seriously. There's people who...
That was an asinine comparison.
No, there's people who their only income comes from selling drugs. Take it away from them. That's a good thing. You know what? We don't need SpaceX.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
We're not colonizing
What is SpaceX
Mars.
hurting?
We're not colonizing
What
Mars.
is
I didn't say it's hurting.
What is it hurting?
I didn't say it's hurting.
Even if he's never able to do it, it's not hurting anybody, and he's giving people thousands and thousands and thousands of people jobs. So who cares? It's not the same. Don't compare it to a drug dealer. It's totally freaking different.
No, he's evil
He's
too.
not killing people.
No, okay, he may not be killing people, but I'll give you that. I'll give you that. He's not killing anybody. I'll settle out of court with that one right now. The court of public
But
opinion.
anyway, I think we've been going. I'm scared to even see what the time
Too
is.
long, dude. I can't see the time. I put a freaking rubber band in the way of it, so
you can take that pen. You could have took that pencil and pulled down the rubber band.
and then it would shook the camera, switch my little ghetto bucket. Matter of fact, let me show people. Let me show our people real quick our main set. Here's what our camera sits on. A little My Little Pony bucket.
Yeah, that's Aaron's personal bucket. That's his pee-pee bucket, but he puts it inside the bed.
It actually is a My Little Pony bucket. Yeah. Either way, all right. I guess we're done. I guess we're done with this episode.
Yeah.
You done got on my nerves for the last time.
Man, you rubbed me wrong a couple times this episode, but that's okay though. You're my brother. I still love you, even if you're stupid.
Okay.
Anyway, though, thank you all for watching.
I'm gonna post that as a short,
What?
just so you know that argument between us.
Oh, it's going to be on the video. It doesn't matter.
People
need to see it.
Not everybody watches the video. People watch shorts though.
Well, they need to see that short.
All right, we got this. All right, y'all have fun. Take it easy.
Hey, like, subscribe, follow, share. It's all free. It just helps us out, and we appreciate it.
All right. Deuces.